hemisphere, the south leg. So run it off of a battery pack that I hope has enough battery power to make this thing go. And going to turn on. There we go, turned on. So here's how it's simple to do. You download an app named Explore Stars off of your favorite app store, the Google Play Store, the App Store. And real simple, I'm going to make sure PMC8 comes up. PMC8 is the name of the control system. Stands for Precision Motion Control 8, meaning it has 8 processors in it. No, I don't have the chat up. I got something else up, weird looking. Don't know. All right, so I'm now connected to the Wi-Fi. So this has a Wi-Fi sender built into it. It's sending out a Wi-Fi signal just like your home router does, and you connect up to it. Now, it may say no internet service available because, think about it, there's no internet connected up to this for the Wi-Fi to broadcast, right? So we've got a connection between it and the tablet. Now I'm going to launch Explore Stars, which I had downloaded previously, and just to check to make sure it's connected. There it goes. You can see it turning. I'm using the virtual joystick to turn it. Paul, have you gotten it fixed so we can do the old... You going to get it fixed?
I don't know.
So we'll talk about polar alignment real quick, but give them a chance. This axis right here has to be aligned with the rotational axis of the Earth, either the north celestial pole or the south celestial pole, one or the other. In the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, I do it with a compass. I've never done it in the southern hemisphere, but I do it in the northern hemisphere. I point a compass due north. I know what my magnetic declination is, meaning here in northwest Arkansas, we're at 1 degree west of true north, meaning that a magnetic compass points 1 degree west of true north, and we have to account for that on our compass. In the western United States, it's as much as 15 or 16 degrees. Same thing in the eastern United States up in the extreme northeast. It can be 14, 15 degrees off. So if you point a compass, the magnetic pointer is going to be 15 degrees off. And if you line this up with 15 degrees off, you're 15 degrees away from being polar aligned. So you have to understand how to fix that. So you also have to have, once it's left-right aligned to the pole, you also have to make sure the tripod is level, and you can use this little gauge right here to set your latitude. Here in northwest Arkansas, we're just a little bit more than 36 degrees, so I've got it set for 36 degrees. And so we should have at least a decent starting polar alignment. There's ways to make it better, but we're talking about first light, and don't let things get in the way of using your telescope. So what if it's off a little bit? Explore Stars has a way to fix that for you, okay? So right off the bat, we're just going to go to Catalog. I'm going to go to Solar, hit the sun. I'm not going to hit the sun. I'm going to tap the sun.
That would hurt.
Slew to, and now I'm going to tap Go to, and off we go. The telescope is going to be rotated by the mount, and it's going to point at the sun. Paul, let me know if we get that video up.
It's going to be a minute. Something broke as soon as we went live.
And that happens.
I'm working on it.
If you're out there, we do have a chat function. We would love for you to give us a shout out and say howdy, so we can give you a shout out and a thank you back. So as you can see, it turns and it's pointing at the sun. So obviously, I'm going to have a solar filter up here, right, to protect my eyes. There's ways you can get aligned with the shadow. Never look through the eyepiece when there's unfiltered sunlight coming through it. My advice is to take the diagonal off completely, just like that. This is the diagonal, and this is the eyepiece that comes with it. It's a 25 millimeter super plossel. Now, I also would advise taking the red dot finder scope off for the sun. Now, the sun's going to go through it, and if we're close, it's going to project an image off to the side, one side or the other. You can use the left, right, up, down buttons to get the image of the sun in a perfectly round. Then you put the solar filter on it. Then you put the diagonal and eyepiece back in, and take a look and see excuse me, how centered up it is. Center it up a little bit more, right? And then hit what's known as the sync button. You're telling the mount that I am pointing at the object I went to, and it'll sync on that object. So it then will track that object across the sky, keeping it centered up in the eyepiece. Pretty cool. So let's talk about the telescope real quick. As I said, it's an 80 millimeter objective size, 80 millimeters in diameter, focal length of 640 millimeters, so that tells us how far back it is where it comes to a point. Has a built-in focuser, so you can focus on the stars, planets, whatever you're looking at. And you can also use the red dot finder at night, right? You don't ever want to look through the red dot finder at the sun, because eyeball sun, sunburn eyeball, not good. So let's say we want to go to a planet. Let's see what planets are up. Solar, let's go to, the moon is not up yet. Yeah, the moon may be up by now. Let's go to Jupiter. Jupiter's up. Jupiter's not up. So back home, back to the catalog. Saturn's not up. Menu, catalog. Yes, because they're east of the sun, so they're not up now. Mars. Mars is up. Let's see where Mars is. Go to, here we go. Mars is going to be in the far west. And it's rotating right now in what's called right ascension. And it looks like and of course, live on television, something happened. That's not where Mars is, so let's just do something else. Let's go to settings. Let's park it. And while it's going home, I'm thinking that there's maybe some battery, because it's a low battery. When the battery starts getting low, it starts giving some really funky things start happening. We're going to go back to this park it in position, and then we're going to try and go to Mars as well. Mars should be following the arc. It's on the ecliptic. Ecliptic's about right there. Mars should be over there. Actually, this is north. Mars should be over there somewhere in the southwest. Well, that's where it was pointing, wasn't it? It was it's just above the horizon. How about that? So it was pointing in the right spot. Let's do this again. Catalog. Mars, it'll go back to the same spot. Slew to, go to. So it's pointing in the extreme southwest. Mars is obviously just getting ready to set in the southwest. I was not paying attention because in this room, north is directly behind me. And for photographing broadcast purposes, we have it just set at a funny angle. And I knew it wasn't pointing at the right spot until I did the mental gymnastics to realize, yes, it is pointing in the right direction. Mars is just about to set. It's right on the horizon, so obviously we wouldn't be able to see it. So there you have it. Mars is from here is just above the horizon. Let's see, the moon's not risen yet. Mercury's up. We know Mercury. Let's go to Venus. Venus is a little bit farther away from the sun. Venus, slew to. Anytime you get near the sun, you don't want to do visual, because even though you might be able to find. Yeah, you hear that right there? That's what happens when the batteries begin to go down.
I told you to leave one plugged in here.
Had some real funky stuff, but I think it continued to count right. It's pointed in about the right spot, so I think we're okay. Anyway, real simple to use, real intuitive interface, a great way to get started. This is a setup for visual. It's not easy to hook a telescope up. Not easy to hook a camera up to a telescope that only takes 1.25 inch eyepieces. This is a great visual starter set. Obviously, if you have a bigger telescope, an ED80 will say, with a 2-inch diagonal on it, 2-inch focuser, fits on here really well. Other telescopes as well. This is a great visual package. It'll help you find things in the sky and help you learn your way around the sky. So now I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to tell it to park, and we're going to park the telescope again, and we're going to cycle out to another telescope. Paul, are you just going to go straight into Amazon Live?
Yeah, if I can get it going.
So let's plan on shutting it down here and coming back. Since we're having troubles, let's go ahead and shut it down now so you can get it back up and running, because we want to be ready to go for Amazon Live. We'll come back up if he gets it working before 2 o'clock. We'll go ahead and come back up on the media stream, on the Facebook stream, because we want to get this working for Amazon Live.
It's okay.
No, I want you to get it squared away and not have frustrations and things like that. We want to have a good professional broadcast. So let's go ahead and shut it down now.
There's always something broken.
Sure there is.
And if there were two of me, you would never know.
Right.
But there's just one of me.
Because one of you would always be broken.
No, I am broke. There is that.
Yeah, we all are because of gas.
Yeah, other
cost
things.
Of food and everything else. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and shut this down. You can get things up and working again, get things banged together. We'll be back in a few minutes, folks, at 2 o'clock at the latest for the Amazon Live broadcast, which will also be broadcasting on this stream. And if we get going pretty quick, we'll be back up on this stream again. So see you in a few minutes here on the social media broadcast and coming up on Amazon Live. Bye-bye.